It's time once again for your morning cup of motivation. Thanks to our next guest, who is a master life coach, author, and inspirational speaker. We like to call it our Motivational Wednesdays. And we, of course, are so happy to welcome back to the show this morning, David Essel. Good morning.
Oh, Carly, good to be back.
I tell you good morning with confidence.
Yes, exactly. Sitting up strong, shoulders back, voice projection, you've got it all.
Yeah, so
you should be on television.
Oh, maybe.
I'm serious.
At least I'm faking it until I make it. We are talking about self-confidence this morning, which I think is something, you know, as a parent, I want my kids to have confidence. I think it's something that we're all kind of seeking and we would like in our lives. But there is a lot of people who lack confidence. I'm sure you see them in your office a lot.
Yes.
What is the cause of that, do you think?
Boy, there's multiple factors, but we always go back to what happened in childhood. Was mom or dad a confident person or not? Were they available emotionally to help you be confident? In other words, were they workaholics and not around, which means that they really couldn't show you how to be confident? Were there addictions going on where they weren't confident? Were they always stressed so they couldn't show you confidence? So, you know, number one, it starts in the home.
Okay.
Number two is what happens in our early childhood years in school. You know, were you cut from a sports team, or you didn't make the band, or in high school were you dropped by someone you really, really liked romantically, you know? And those type of rejections can really destroy a person's confidence early in life.
So what do you do at that point? You know, and especially as a mom now, when I see, and I wish I could tell my my old self as going through the school days, if it's okay, it's okay. So where do you start in building that?
Well, first of all, you know, when a child comes and says, well, let me even back up a second. One of the things that we're doing in society right now that is not healthy is that everyone gets a trophy.
Isn't that the truth?
You know, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. It doesn't build confidence, because the kids that didn't do well on a team, that get a trophy the same size and the same everything else that the all-star kids on the team or in the band get, they know subconsciously that they're not as good. And
you think so?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. We know that for sure from studies. You know that they know that they don't deserve the same thing that the top player.
So do they feel pitied? I mean, is that?
Well, you know, what it does is it demotes their confidence level because they see it's a sham. You know, so number one, if it's David's world, if I'm creating...
Yeah, I like David's world. I want to go to David's world.
It really works, you know, but we say, like, let's not make everyone equal if we're not equal. Let's give people goals to get better, but let's not say that you're just as good as so-and-so if you're not. So that you know, that's one of the things we need to look at.
Is it ever too late to work on your confidence? I mean, let's say you've had a pretty traumatic childhood and this is something you've struggled with for years. I mean, can you ever be too lost?
No, you know, there's a woman around 50 years old that we just worked with who had no confidence with money. A lot of women don't have a lot of confidence with money, finances, saving, investing. Which
is interesting, because I think it goes for money, for relationships. I mean, you can have a lack of confidence on anything. So with this particular woman, it was money.
It was money, and she came in and she was struggling financially. She was making enough, but it was being spent in all these really bizarre ways. So I said, "What's your car payment? You know, what's your?" She goes, "Oh, I don't know. It's around this amount a month." I said, "Bring in your lease." So we looked at her lease, and her lease payment was at 16% interest, which is ridiculous. A new car lease shouldn't be more than 4 to 6% interest at the most, you know. So I said to her, okay, this isn't working. You're going to have to, if you want to go through this financial course with me, you've got to go to the bank, and you've got to ask them if they would negotiate with you. Don't go back to the car dealer, go to the bank. She went into the bank shaking with her lease in her hand. She was so nervous to ask for help. The guy...
What's the worst they're going to say is no?
I know, but if you don't have confidence, all you think about is the worst that could happen, right? So she was shaking, and she even said to the guy, the only reason I'm here is because my coach told me I had to come. You know, it was like one of those things.
But that's okay.
Within 20 minutes, he had knocked off 10% of her interest rate, rewrote a new loan in 20 minutes.
Wow.
She walks out. When you want to talk about someone with confidence, oh my gosh, Carly, she walked out and then she started going after other things that she had never approached before in life. So we can change it, but you know, the number one rule, if you want to become more confident, and it's kind of a difficult oxymoronic statement, is you have to risk what you're fearing.
Yeah, let's go ahead and kind of circle all this right, because you do say risk is the answer.
It is.
That's like if someone's lacking in confidence, that's the last thing they want to hear is, oh, go take a risk.
Exactly, but that's the only way through to gain confidence. And so, but we don't want you to do it alone. You know, we want you to have an accountability partner, someone who's supporting you, a coach who's supporting you, a course that you're taking that's encouraging you to take risks. We don't want people who's watching the show right now to go, okay, I'm going to go out and do X. I'm going to meet 25 people today or say hi to 50 people this week. We want you to do it in a smart way, in a progressive way. but you have to do it with someone almost holding your hand.
Now, do you see when people are, lacking confidence, can they, be really confident in one area of their life and then, really lack confidence in another area?
Carly, that is such a great question, and the answer is 100% yes. Yeah, I mean, there are athletes that I've worked with. I started out in sports psychology that could never do this interview you and I are doing.
Yeah, and that's crazy to me.
It is, right? They can go out in front of stands of 25, 30,000 people and perform on the basketball court and the tennis court, but when someone would come to interview them, they could not speak. They had no confidence at all in their ability to present themselves.
Well, and again, I think people just need to know they're not alone.
Yes,
so if
exactly.
they do have an issue where they need to learn more confidence, come and see you.
Yes.
You're going to be having, going back to the financial confidence part of it, you're going to have this great series coming up where you want to help more people like this woman you brought up have confidence with their finances. So how do you describe what this is and how can people get involved?
Yeah, it's a 10-week course. It's called Financial Freedom Now, and we take people through just like this is what the woman just went through, right? And we take them through step by step of how to talk more about money, how to talk about their savings, their income, their expenses, their investments. And even if they don't have investments, we help them learn how to speak the language and become more confident with money. And here's something really interesting, Carly, is that when people start to become more confident talking about money and dealing with money, every other area of their life, they become more confident too.
It's a mental thing, I can imagine. It would really do wonders for them.
Yep.
Well, you do wonders for us. We love having you here.
You.
For more on David, he's got a great website, again, because he's got conferences and seminars, and he's always got something up his sleeve that he wants to help you with. So that is one place that you can go to find out more about David Essel, and then, of course, you can head to our website as well, which is fox4morningblend.com. Thank you, David.
Thanks, Carly.
How often do you tell the people you love in your life how amazing they are? Up next, what if you could show them how amazing they are by sending them on a trip to Bali? That's next, but first a look at your Fox forecast and news headlines.